In newsrooms all over the country, women are working and leading. Pioneer journalist Katherine Johnson was one of the first. The Columbus, Georgia native began reporting for the Associated Press in 1959. She was the only female reporter at the time in the Atlanta bureau.
The men didn't want it in the office, and I was the only woman, and the latest, reporter and newest, and the first reporter too it ever had as a woman, and so that's why I got it. I'm delighted.
She's talking about one of the most important assignments of her career, covering the civil rights movement.
But I knew the King family, Daddy King, Mama King, particularly Daddy King. I loved him.
But it's Johnson's relationship with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife Coretta that brought us to the 91-year-old's Northeast Atlanta home.
What's so special is that you did have this unprecedented access.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I kind of want to back up a little bit just to talk about how you got it.
Yeah. See, when he was on the road a lot, she was by herself with 4 kids, and so I did some features on her.
Johnson's connection with the Kings began in 1964 with an unexpected invitation to the King home after a downtown Atlanta march.
And when we got there, Coretta opened the door. She was pregnant then with the last child, and she said, "Come in and have some hot coffee, and you'll feel better, warm up." So I did, of course. And after the King took me to his office to phone in the story, then I went and joined them at the dining room table, and we started talking about the movement.
The visits continued, but none as poignant as the one on April 4th, 1968.
My driver said, "Do you want to go to the King home?" And I said, "Yes." So we went straight there, and there were reporters on the little porch there, and I went up there with them, and a policeman was there, and he said, "Nobody gets in, no reporter gets in, just family and very close friends," and a lot of them were coming out. So when the door opened, I saw Coretta, so she said, "Let Katherine in." And that was a wonderful thing, to be allowed in on the very night he was assassinated.
You write about the day of the funeral,
yeah.
and you write about how, as people came to the home, you were cooking breakfast.
I went in the kitchen, and I found a big apron hanging on the wall, and so I put on the apron and rumbled through all the pots and pans and started cooking breakfast for the King family. I stood in the doorway, the doorbell rang, and I was afraid it was Jackie Kennedy, because we were expecting her. So I opened the door, and I was standing there with a apron on and a towel over my hand. And Jackie Kennedy took a look at me and made a beeline for me, first of all, And to my great astonishment, she shook my hand. And to this day, I think she thought I was the King's white maid, a white cook, maybe.